Bit of a fruit haul here, and we're going to do we've got some pussycats as well. She's a little Roxy puss, she's a little Scraggle. She was Scraggle and purr at the same time. These are all feral cats here with some feral fruit. Make sure you wash your hands after touching your food, Mum. Don't watch. This is an apricot. It looks a great colour.
Is it ripe?
What's that?
Is it ripe?
We'll get to that. It's got a softish, but it feels like rubber. Looks beautiful. Look, it looks legit. Zero smell. When the fruit has zero smell, generally it's like down. Apricots should have fragrance, so when I bite into it, that's rubber. That is absolute rubber apricot. Australia's very hard to get quality fruit here. If I love cycling in Adelaide, I love the Adelaide culture here. If Adelaide didn't exist, I wouldn't live in Australia. I mean, Australia's going to the... Can't say it's going to the dogs because dogs are cool, but Australia's really going downhill right now. We can't really talk about that too much, but it's really... And even Adelaide, it's like... It's crazy. We can't really talk about too much about it. The censorship. Kiwis next. These are from New Zealand. We can grow gold kiwis in Australia. In fact, the best kiwis I've ever had in my life, the green ones were from Italy, and the gold ones were from Mount Tamborine in Queensland. When we're living up in North New South Wales there, up in on Hogan's Road there in Balamble, we're getting these organic kiwis off this guy, Mount Tamborine, Queensland. They were legit, like $2 a kilo. He's like, I can't sell them, they're too. People saying they're too sweet. That was 2010. He's probably gone out of business by now. They were the best kiwis ever.
Is that soft?
Yes. If it's really good kiwi, if it's good quality, you can eat it a little bit unripe and it'll still taste really good. Let's have a check. Pretty poor. We'll give that a pass. Next up, we're going to go the least sweet fruits first. Otherwise, if you have the sweetest at the start, like mango, then it will just corrupt the flavours of the other fruits. So we're going to go. Next up, we'll go peaches. Peaches will be next sweet on here. We've got mangoes, nectarines. We're going to get so this has got fragrance, it's got give. We'll go for the softest one in here. Yes, everything's wrapped in plastic. Welcome to Australia. Alright, this one's got give, it's soft, it's so soft, it's splitting a bit. Ugh. Zero sugar in that one.
Eat the other side.
Zero calorie fruit. That's great. I want less calories. I'm doing calories in, calories out because I've got an eating disorder. CICO. Calories in, calories out. I get to eat peaches with no calories. Yeah! This calories in and calories out crew, man. You've got fucking eating disorders. Get some help. Oh. I could probably salvage that by cutting them and putting sugar on top, which we'll do because the fibre in the fruit is good. Alright, so that's why my head rolls off my shoulders when people say fruit's got too much sugar in it. And it's like, you literally, anyone out there, please, I've got money. I've got a lot of money. If you can find me every single meal the sugary fruit in Australia, I will buy from you. I'll pay you double of what you get it for, even triple, guaranteed. Because that's how much I love fruit. I've got no kids. I've got no debts. I've got money. Ugh. Disgust. Oh, that tastes like fungicide. We'll give that one a miss. Nectarines are done. This has cost me $25 so far. But hey, first world problems, you know. But yeah, but it's a shame though because we can grow some really good fruit in Australia, you know. But mangoes.
Right.
This one's very soft. Go for the softest one in this batch. This was actually a good batch. We had last night. Bought some mangoes last night, and it was from this batch. So hopefully it's from the same tree. Because you'll get a mango farm, and maybe only a couple of trees are producing really high Brix value fruit. High Brix means high sugar. The higher the sugar in the fruit, the higher the vitamins, the phytoestrogens, all the phytonutrients, antioxidants. If it's got high sugar, everything else will come up as well. Calcium, proteins, etc., copper, zinc. So if it doesn't have the flavour, it doesn't have the nutrition. Simple as that. Ask any fruit bat. It's edible. is edible. But I could give this to someone who's never had mango before and be like, oh yeah.
Is that as good as the ones from the previous packet?
No, which I would suspect this has come from a different tree. So it's, yeah, you know. Alright, we're going to go for another one. This is the Calypso Mango. Apparently the best mangoes in Australia, the Calypso claim. This is the best, eating the best mangoes in Australia right now, based on the marketing hype from Calypso. The colour looks really good. It looks like a Costa Rican style mango. This is from Australia. Zero smell.
They're hard.
You can't tell if they're hard or soft by looking at it.
The ones at Aldi were.
These are, I've got the softest ones. So, a good mango, even if it's a bit hard, will be really, really sweet. I've eaten thousands of mangoes, and I can tell you, like any good fruit, even if you eat it a bit early, it'll still taste pretty freaking good. Obviously, ideally, you want to let it wait. This is the softest of this four, and the amount of softness in this, if it's quality, it should be really sugary sweet. We're going to split that, grab your fingernails in there. Promise, it's got a little bit of promise. It's I mean, it's probably the best mangoes in Australia because mangoes in Australia are so poor quality in general. It tastes a bit of pesticide. It feels a little bit chemically because these get sprayed hard. You know what I mean? So if you're giving this stuff to your kids, you know, what's the...
Wash it in vinegar.
Well, the thing is, yeah, that might, yeah, I mean, how about, you know, the pesticides they use in these mangoes in Australia are largely banned in other countries. So, and they're called a systemic poison. So it's sprayed on the fruit or dipped on the fruit to kill the fruit fly larvae when it's coming to South Australia, which is stupid because fruit fly in South Australia can't really live because it's so cold in winter, they die off. So it's, anyways, it's called systemic poison. So that goes down to the seed of the fruit. So every bite you have, you're getting poison. Now, obviously, it's a small amount, but if you're a kid and eating a lot of fruit, does that cause any learning or behavioural issues? We don't know. Experimental medication.
Buy organic ones then.
Yeah, it'd be even organic. They still use pesticides. So the poison on the fruit here in Australia are largely banned in many countries, same with macadamia nuts, avocados, etc. So it's systemic poison. So spray it, goes down to the seed to kill any fruit fly larvae, bugs, etc. Because a few people back in the 60s or 70s complained, I cut open a mango and it had some fruit fly maggots in it. So let's spray it with some carcinogenic poison that's banned. You know, we in Australia we use a lot of poisons that are banned elsewhere. It's crazy. Like in Australia you can spray glyphosate willy-nilly. You see the council spraying it, no worries. But in New York City, when I was living in New York, I'd go for a run and I'd see this, like, it'd be cordoned off. And I'm like, is there a murder scene here? And there's a cordon off signs, yellow tape, don't walk your dogs here. And they're spraying glyphosate. So in Australia you can just spray it, no worries. In the US it's like full on, you know, litigation style, which I think is good. But anyway, so we've spent $25. We've got a mango, maybe we've got potentially 3 mangoes when they ripen up. So that's why, if you're a fruitarian, you've got to have a backup plan. So here we've got some sugar and water, and a bit of orange juice in there maybe. So yeah, it's no artificial colours, no artificial flavours, natural flavouring. Boom. So I'll be able to get my carbohydrates from some source. That's why the average fruitarian just fails so hard. Unless you're living in Thailand and you have like some really strong fruit hunting ability and money. But even now, like 15 years ago when I was full fruitarian, there was a lot better quality fruit in Australia. You know, you get a lot of local trees, grapes, and in-season figs, etc. But it's just progressively going down every year, unfortunately. The last one has got a honey gold mango. This is a sort of a South American style mango grown here in Australia. And we've got 2 of these. We'll try and find the ripest one. It'll be this one. Again, if it's ripe enough, it's soft enough to be ready. It's not full ripe, but if it's good quality, it'll still be very, very tasty, very, very good. And these are about $3 each here in Australia. So it's got a bit of promise. Oh yeah. That's not too bad. That's, you know, it's virtually 0 calorie, but I'll give it a 5 out of 10. Like, it's definitely edible. It's definitely edible. Tastes a little bit of pesticide, chemical residue. Not too bad. But yeah, that's edible. So that's called the honey gold. But just because I have a good honey gold doesn't mean your honey gold will be good. Depends on the tree, depends on the rainfall, the sunshine, how much calcium is in the soil, rock dust, etc. If they even used it. So yeah. Yes, it's edible. Yeah, I'm quite hungry for fruit, so it means that it probably tastes better than it really should. Just goes to show you though. If people out there tell you eat 100% raw food diet in 2021, like, yeah, it's very, very unrealistic. I gave these a wash. Tried to wash some of the surface pesticide off there, wash it down the drain for the ocean, and then we're going to put a bit of sugar in here, so then we can just sort of like put it as like a bit of fondue, sugar fondue. If we pour it on there, and that way you get your sugar hit, so you can be productive at work, you sleep good tonight, and you get some fibre from the fruit, the vitamin C. It's probably about all you're getting in this fruit. Give it a couple hundred grams of sugar in there, and that will be a little satisfying snack with maybe you've got a gram of fat per meal, and that fat will be probably in the form of omega-3s, maybe even less than that. And so yeah, it makes the unedible a little bit more edible. Bon appetit. Look at that. Beautiful.